Hi, my name is Mark. Um, I want to talk about a problem I had with my internet service, Vyve Broadband, VYVE, and they are available in about half of the U.S. Um, and I was wanting to talk about my experience because there were a couple questionable times, you know, and I'm not going to talk about those. And there have been about 6 times or so, I would say about half a dozen times, that the fire ants where I live in Oklahoma had chewed through the fiber. So that's not terrible. I understand that happens, so they need to figure out how to insulate those boxes, but that's not what I want to talk about today. Today I want to talk about um, what I might refer to as fraud. I think it could be a type of fraud. I don't know. I'm not 100% sure, but so yes, my name is Mark, and I am low income. I'm on Social Security actually. So um, yeah, I don't. I have to be careful with my money. I make sure I pay my bills. Food, rent, water, blah blah blah. So yeah, I thought I would go ahead and take advantage of this deal. It was $50 through with Vyve, $50 for the 1 gig plan, including equipment. It is very important. That is a very important detail for closer to the end. So 1 gig, it was a great deal. $50. How can you beat that? And so let me get to this. So very good deal. I think it was May of 2026. I'm sorry, I should have said today is August 1st, 2026. I got service, I don't know. I think it's been at least 6 months, maybe a year. I don't remember. I've kind of quit a couple times because of my inability to consistently pay. And Vyve is, well, the internet anyway, is a month to month. It is not a contractual, yearly, by every 2 years, that sort of thing. It's not like that. So yeah, it started at $50. I think it was about May that it went up to $60, and I called because I noticed that, and I was like, yeah, what's up with that? They said, oh, it was the previous deal ended. It was a 1 year thing, so I guess I have had it for more than 1 year then. So yeah, $60 paying that, and then and of course, like I said before, I have quit the internet service before. I've looked for other cheaper cell phone plans, and I think I found the best and cheapest at the same time. So yeah, it was finally June that I started thinking about quitting internet service again. I do have 30 gigabytes on my mobile plan. Sorry for the little shuddering. I am holding this by my hand. And I've got a library across town that has upgraded fiber, super fast Wi-Fi, and all that. I download games very fast. But anyway, so yeah, so June 29th, I'm looking here at my notes. It's right below my phone. So June 29th, I called in. Keep in mind my billing cycle started on June 21st. So that was 8 days. I called them 8 days after the billing cycle began to cancel my service. And yeah, so I called to cancel. Of course, I was transferred to the previously named retention department, now called the loyalty department. You gotta love renaming sometimes. So at the beginning of the call, I had insisted on canceling. They attempted to offer me cheaper plans. I understand that because it's the retention department. They want to retain you. So I didn't want to do that. Well, at first I didn't want to do that. I certainly didn't want to go with cheaper plans. I didn't really think $5 was going to make a difference, that sort of thing. And then she's kind of talking to me, and I was really, I'm an anxious person, and I really break down things, and I try to think about things as best I can. And so I was like, in my mind, I was like, you know what? Maybe I should go ahead and try to save. Maybe I can. I do different things. I mow a few lawns here and there. I clean a few cars here and there. I actually make homemade goat milk soap. If you guys like that trend, goat milk soap is very nice. And I sell that stuff. So I was like, you know what? I'm just going to do my best, work really hard, and make $60, pay for that billing cycle, not going to cancel. And if I can work hard enough, then I can put another $60 towards the next billing cycle during this billing cycle, so I don't have to stress about not being able to come up with the money. I guess that's it for that. So yeah, at the end of the call, I said I wasn't sure that I wanted to cancel after all. I was going to try to save some money to keep the internet service going. So that was my plan. That was the plan before the rest of this stuff started. So yes, I made $60. I don't think I used my Social Security to pay for that $60 on July 8th. It could have been Social Security, could have been one of my jobs, but I know that I've been really trying to work hard, and I don't have a job, so I don't have a legit job. I don't have a 9 to 5 or employed. So yeah, July 8th, I paid $60 plus taxes for the 6/21 to 7/20 billing cycle. And then it came along. The next billing cycle came, which I always pay for between the 1st and the 5th of every month, but usually it's the 1st or 2nd, unless I get the money on the first weekend, like when the first falls on the weekend, and the day before, that sort of thing. So 7/21 rolls around, the first day of that next billing cycle. I was doing some research on my computer. The internet turned off. I was like, what happened? Must be another outage. So I called yet again, as I stated earlier, Fire Ants True Through the Fiber. So I was like, oh, it happened again. They need to insulate that box. So I called, and the rep stated there was a work order in for deactivating my service. Nobody came out, obviously. Nobody came out to do that. And I didn't know. I thought they had to come out to do that. But I guess that becomes important later, because it's about to be. It still boggles my mind what I'm about to say. But let's get on. So I did not know there was a deactivation work order. Otherwise, I would have called in to cancel that work order. I wanted to keep my service, keep paying as much as I can, doing my best, and then she, Vyve workers are always kind. They're knowledgeable. That survey at the end of the call, they know their stuff and they're kind and all that. They're outgoing. But she made a mistake, and that's coming up in just a moment. I had told her. She said that. Okay, when she put me on hold, after she put me on hold, she came back. She said, so unfortunately, she cannot restore service without charging me a $50 activation fee. And then, of course, I asked her, can you get the authorization to waive that $50 activation fee? And can you get the authorization to reinstate the previous $60 deal? Keep in mind, that included the equipment. And part of this package was that actually this is a whole nother story, so I'll probably leave another video after this one talking about the activation fee part of the package, because that really that irked me too when I first got this package over a year ago. So she came back on the line after putting me on hold. She said she was unable to waive the $50 activation fee. However, she did get the authorization to reinstate the previous $60 deal, including the equipment that's part of the package. And again, hold on to that thought. So I told her she would need to call me back so I could run over to my bank and drop $50 in. Like, I didn't know if I had $50, but I actually went in there and I found $50. So great. So $50 activation fee. And so I told her what time to call, and she called me. I was like trying to hurry back because, of course, I had to do something else, drop off a package. But anyway, so yeah, I finally get back home, and we're talking, and in my mind, I'm like, so when are they going to come out and activate it, that sort of thing. So anyway, I was like, okay, so can you go ahead and schedule the activation or get the activation done or something? And then it literally took 10 seconds, and she said, okay, I've done the activation. I was like, you've activated my service already. And then I looked over at the modem, because at that moment, the modem was still hooked up with the 5 lights, including service. Service, broadband, that sort of thing. Service was on there, and broadband was on there. And I was like, in my mind, I was like, I just paid $50 for them to take 5 seconds, even 10 seconds at most, to click something in their software to activate the service. $50 for 10 seconds of work. That is insane. Okay? And now that activation fee becomes an even bigger realization for the next video I want to make about this, just because it was frustrating. I wanted to speak out about it, but I didn't know how to. I guess here I am now I know how to. So now we're going to move on, okay? So that was July 21st for the reactivating the service, okay? July 31st, keep in mind today is August 1st. Yesterday morning, 6:30 a.m., still in bed, I am going through same old list, paying my insurance, phone bill, internet. I got a few on auto pay, but I just pay them on there anyway. I don't know why, but yeah. So I was 6:30 a.m. I was paying bills. I went on Vyve to pay that $60, and I knew it was $1.20 more because that's the fee for using your card or the fees, taxes, whatever it is. $61.20. Okay. While I was on there, I noticed, and I questioned it in my head. I was like, okay, I need to just call them to make sure that they get that pushed off of there, because that's not supposed to be there. A really weird $22 charge extra. So we're saying if it was a real charge that could not be waived, I would actually be paying $82 this month. And so I was like, I got to call in just a few minutes, take care of that. Okay, so I got that $60. I agreed to pay $60. I agreed to pay that, okay? I called at 8:30 a.m. Central Standard Time, since I'm in Oklahoma, to talk to the retention department. Again, the renamed currently loyalty department. And they said I have to pay it. It's for the equipment. And I said, but that's not right. The person that reactivated my service included that in the package. That was included in the package in the first place, when I first got internet over a year ago. And she said, oh yeah, so there was a $22 for the charge for the equipment. The rep said that the previous rep from July 21st mistakenly forgot to add the equipment back on. And I said, well, I can't afford to pay an extra $22 per month. That was part of the package deal, the $60 deal, the equipment was. And they insisted that they could not correct that mistake. So their employee made the mistake. Their company made the mistake because the representative represents Vyve. They could not correct their company's mistake. And the catch, what's really mind-boggling, is that one that reactivated my service. That was July 21st. This representative I'm talking to yesterday said that the deal, they could not correct her mistake because the deal had ended on July 1st, even though the representative had already reinstated the deal on July 21st. So because anyway, let's not linger. So we'll move on. They refused to budge, and they offered me other plan options, and I actually did consider another plan option as a cheaper alternative. I did consider that. However, I just didn't want to stress, didn't want to deal with it anymore, and I'd actually told them while we were talking about the $22 charge, even after they specified that the employee made a mistake, I told them I did not agree to $82 per month. That's what they said. They said that from now on, it is going to be $82 per month. I didn't agree to that. And they said, and I said they can't afford, and they cannot force me to agree to the $82 per month because I didn't agree to that. I agreed to pay $60 a month. I agreed to pay a certain amount for a particular service. Okay? They're the ones that made a mistake. They need to fix that. So anyway, they wouldn't budge at all. And so I told them I would do a chargeback and cancel my service, and that's what I did. Actually, while I was on the phone with them, one of the last things we talked about was, please issue me a label so I can send them back. I actually got it sent out the same day, yesterday. I've already canceled my service. I already got my chargeback completed. So I'm just really frustrated about this. That was very frustrating. Maybe there was a communication breakdown. Maybe there's something I'm missing here, but it was just a little frustrating. I'm actually past it now. I don't have to pay $60 anymore. And I'm certainly not paying $82 anymore. And you can argue that, hey, 82 might still be a better deal for 1 gig than paying 100 or 120, but I'm on Social Security. I can't afford that. That's the reason I even took the deal in the first place. Even reinstating the deal. Excuse me. That $50 activation fee. I was like, I hope I don't regret that. $50. That's anyway. It is just now passing 19 minutes. So anyway, I hope this helps you guys. I wish companies would be a little more, have integrity. I'm not 100% sure. I'm actually tempted to look up and actually go up here, see if I can activate my hotspot while I'm recording.